हेलो हेलो होस्ट कौन है?
Hello, this is CII here.
Yeah, sir, please kindly stay on there because I am connect through a hardware and check it them.
Okay.
In case anything issue will be, and one more thing is that don't be mute, forcefully mute to hardware device at your end.
Yes.
And I'll try to connect. Please
Yeah.
go.
Good morning, Chairman.
Morning, Sujit. Can you hear me?
Yes, please, clear.
Okay.
We'll be starting in another 10 minutes, Chairman. The Honorable Minister would be joining by 11:25 also.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning to all.
Good morning, Chairman.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hello. Hello, Chris. Hello,
Hi.
everyone. Morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, CB. Or afternoon, almost.
Yeah, no, we're still morning. Hi, morning, everybody. Morning, Chris. Good to see Chris. Yeah.
Morning, Chandrajit.
Shashi, you are in Delhi.
I was there yesterday. I'm back in Bombay today.
Okay.
I was there last 3 days, yeah, doing the rounds, and then just came back. But I've got to say, this initiative is a brilliant initiative. We're doing this Startupreneur stuff. And I remember, Chris, we spoke, I think it was like a couple of years ago when we started this whole thing. And when you look at the quality of players in there and, what they have done, and it really makes you, feel really positive about, where India is going to go in the future.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic. Very, very optimistic, Shashi.
It is, when you look at the kind of things people are coming up with. I mean, it's like unbelievable. We ourselves have already invested in 2 of these. One was we bought a company called Onyx Insights, which helps wind assets get more efficient. We started with investing in it, and then eventually we took it over 100%. Another one we have invested now in is a company called Blue Smart, which is a EV ride-hailing company. So similar to Uber, but it's an EV ride-hailing in the Delhi NCR area.
Right.
Amazing. Another one, which is growing so fast. All EVs. And in fact, we just set up the largest EV charging hub, even in Preeti's portfolio across the globe in Delhi. In Dwarka, this is at the same time we can charge 86 cars.
Oh, wow.
Quite a big one.
Very interesting. Actually, we should, showcase all these things, because this is what we want to see happen more and more. This is what we want more enterprises to realize, more businesses to realize, that there's so much to gain from working with startups. And I think if you can, in platforms that you have, showcase these, talk about these things, tweet about these things, I think it'll be wonderful.
No, we do that, and and every time, like you said, every time I get a chance to meet somebody in the government, I talk about it and I tell them how these are things. You may not think of it as being important, but it kind of lays the background, and also it creates the confidence. Like for an international company like us looking at India, how do you build confidence to invest in India and all kinds of stuff? It's it's things like these.
Right. Not just your own centers or your partners, but now you have startups that you can acquire, take global, bring in new innovations. I think that's exactly what we are telling enterprises. This is the new capability that you need to build, the ability to identify, work, incubate. So it's not the financial side of investment and returns from those investments in startups, but the strategic side, where acquiring these become part of your strategy now, part of your growth strategy, the new products that you can bring in, etc.
So it speeds up things, right? So
exactly, reduces risk also. Reduces risk and speed things.
So one of the things we're doing, with Infosys, where we are, developing an energy as a service platform.
Right.
And they're exactly what you're saying we're doing. We're looking at existing players, who already have, various components to it. And, how can we incorporate that into the bigger energy as a service platform? And Infosys has got so many, right, in their list of.
I see
entrepreneurs.
Avnish from Accenture here. He can probably talk about many. Manjnath from Infosys. All these
Yes.
people are here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning, Avnish. Good morning, Manjnath.
Manjnath, you're on mute.
Chris, in fact, on the energy as a service between BP and Infosys, that includes startup agenda as well. Sharing of the network both of us have built. One from the venture portfolio, second on a partner portfolio between us.
Okay.
Quite exciting, isn't it? I mean, what
Yeah,
we're trying to build.
there are probably more stories. Unfortunately, there are 175 people, and I can't see a lot of the people on the screen. So there are probably many more stories that people can talk about. So
I like your idea. If we can start putting some of these together and then, using this platform to kind of talk about it, both, it excites the startups and it also excites the enterprises to kind of think about how do we cooperate.
gives them confidence, that there are others who are doing it and who have benefited. I think a lot of people are now raising hands. I don't know whether to bring them on or not, Chandrajit, because the minister is probably expected any minute.
Yeah, the minister is expected any minute. So we will try and I think let's let the conversation go, keep going for another couple of minutes till the minister joins.
I'm trying to figure out who has raised the hand.
There are quite a few raised hands. Can't see them, but we can see that there are raised hands, but somehow it's not popping up.
So maybe, I can ask Jayasree Mohanty, if you can talk. You've raised your hand. Or maybe she's not a panelist, so I don't know whether she can talk or not.
Yeah, probably there's some.
Jayasree, can you?
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
go
Can you
ahead.
hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. A very good morning to each one. If it's a beautiful time, and I am a member with the Startup Task Force Government of Odisha from the state, and also head a IT company here known as Luminous Infoways. So we have raised a startup from 11 number to now to 1200 numbers in the state of Odisha.
Wow.
And our startup task force is doing amazingly well, because these are basically all startups having a technological interface through which they have gone in for different kind of innovations. And several of them have received grants from Government of Odisha, including monthly assistance, need-based assistance, and product development grants. So that is how we are trying to create a very beautiful culture for them. And a Odisha hub has come up through which we are trying to make them and create an impact in the community. So from the CII side also, I am there in the Startup and Innovation panel as the chair and the convener. So we try to see a sync between both of them, between the industry and the Startup Task Force, and we are able to generate a lot of interest by doing a couple of very excellent things like mentor clinics, like mentor connect programs from the CII side. So these are the certain aspects which we are doing from our side and doing a lot of things from the state of Odisha. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And I know Subrata Bakshi is also working in Odisha in these areas. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. He's pretty much involved in the process and giving us a lot of inspiration to move ahead.
Can I request Kashwaraju Hiramahi? I'm hoping, I hope I'm spelling properly. Pronouncing properly. Can you unmute and speak? You've raised your hand. Okay, Shantu Roy. Okay, you've all raised your hand, but you're unable to speak. Okay.
Unmute করতে হইতো?
You want to say something, Shantu?
sir.
Yes. Shantu, go ahead.
Hey, hello.
Yes, go ahead.
No, he's switching off.
Okay, fine.
Kasper Raju was trying to speak, right? Please, you want to...
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir Sontu Roy.
Yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead, Shantu. Do you have anything to say? Okay, Bipin Raj. Bipin.
Good morning, panelists.
Yeah, Bipin, go ahead.
Sir, I have an idea, sir.
Okay, see
I
which state you belong to, or where are you located?
Karnataka, Mangalore.
Mangalore. Okay. I
Mangalore.
think you should contact the local office of CII, and through that, if you can come, that will be very helpful.
Minister, Honorable Minister has joined, Chris.
Okay. Over to you, Chandrajit.
Right, thanks. Namaskar, Honorable Minister. Good morning.
Sorry, I'm a few minutes late.
Not at all, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us on this very, very important day. Honorable Minister, very, very distinguished group of people, as you could see here. Members of the Indian startup ecosystem. There are lots from the different parts of the country, different states of India. We have senior officials from the government, from the states, also the members of the media. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to welcome all of you to this very, very important event. And it's such an honor to have with us Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, the Honorable Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology, Skill Developments and Entrepreneurship of the government, to be here with us. Shri Chandrasekhar, our chief guest for today, this important edition of CII Startupreneur Awards. Honorable Minister, if I may say, you have really been truly inspiring us and guiding us in this entire space of startups, and your passion, your leadership in promoting India's new tech entrepreneurs really have delivered many, many result-oriented outcomes, if I could say, be it skill development, cybersecurity, digitalization, or many other areas. And we at the CII are indeed very, very privileged to benefit from your guidance and your support on many occasions, and giving some of those very valued inputs. And your presence would inspire a large number of startups, as you can see present here today. Some of them are in the panel, some of them are outside the panel. So we are indeed most delighted and honored, sir. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome everybody who are present here. Let me compliment all the startups who participated in the CII Startupreneurs Awards 2020-21. I'd really like to thank all the corporates who participated and selected their respective winners through a very rigorous process that we had for this award system. And we all know that the Indian startup ecosystem has indeed developed most dynamically in the recent times. And if you see just the 5 years, there has been some significant increase in both investments and infrastructure facilities for the expansion of startups and entrepreneurship. And today, India is recognized as the world's largest startup ecosystem for young innovators and entrepreneurs, many of who are present here today. And we all achieved this because we have an active support and a very, very vibrant partnership, if I can say, and policy interventions by the government and collective support from all industry and all players of the startup ecosystem. Since startup ecosystem was announced by the Honorable Prime Minister in 2016, from our institution, from CII, we have been continuously working with various important players in the startup space with some very, very strong response. And Honorable Minister, last year, we established a center of excellence, which was dedicated to innovation, entrepreneurship, and startups. This was started, it was physically based out of Hyderabad. And Chris from his Pratiksha Trust supported this initiative very strongly. And and Chris today is chairing this initiative on behalf of CII, is leading it. And we would turn to you from time to time to seek your guidance and advice on how do we scale up this startup center. It's helping large number of stakeholders to get connected of different ecosystems such as founders, investors, mentors, service providers, and we strongly believe that as a country, we have a tremendous potential to scale up startup ecosystem in the months to come, and we really look forward to your inputs. And today, to enable startups to take advantage of the various services which are offered by CII to the industry, we recently amended. We amended the CII's bylaws. Actually, I wanted to mention it to the Honorable Minister because he understands so very well how institutions like ours function. So I just wanted to put up. We recently amended our own bylaws to enable startups to be a part of the ecosystem within CII very strongly. So we have done that, and Honorable Minister, in your interactions with us, you have reiterated partnership with the private sector in future technology development and strategic areas where India needs to create its competencies, be it AI, cybersecurity, semiconductors. So we are all working on it, and we are working very closely with your ministry, CII SaaS Virtual Park, and promoting India as a global hub for SaaS products and solutions. We are working very closely with the MSDE also to skill, reskill, and upskill our youth. And it's a matter of great pride that through our various skill development initiative, we have been able to impact in the recent past more than 1 million youth every year on year. And through our skilling initiatives, 20% of these that we are doing 1 million per year, we are seeing that they are becoming entrepreneurs, and they are particularly women, Honorable Minister. And therefore, we created a network of women, Indian Women Network, which is actively promoting women entrepreneurship. So just wanted to mention some of these points to you because you really motivate, your thoughts motivate us to do much more. And once again, thank you for gracing this very, very important occasion. And once again, a warm welcome to you, sir, and a warm welcome to all our participants who have joined. With that, may I request Chris Gopalakrishnan, our chairman, CII's chairman on the Startup Center, to give his remarks, please.
Thank you, Chandrajit, Sri Rajiv Chandrasekharji. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, a good morning to all of you. Let me begin by thanking Sri Rajiv Chandrasekharji for graciously accepting our invitation to speak at this event. If this was a physical event, we would have requested him to hand over the awards. But it's a wonderful honor to have you here today for the CII Startupreneur Award ceremony and launch of CII Iconn 2022. Now, Iconn is a platform where we bring startups and corporates, startups and enterprises together, have various set of activities throughout the year in order for enterprises and startups to collaborate, work together, fund enterprises to fund startups, learn from them, etc. Let me also congratulate all the startups that are going to receive awards today. And I also wish all the startups who participated, because I'm sure that they must have learned a lot by participating in this, because the process is quite rigorous, and they must have received guidance from the corporates while going through the award process, because the jury in some sense are the corporates, the enterprises who are now recognizing these startups and going to work with these startups. Chandrajit talked about the Startup India program that laid the foundation to catapult India towards becoming a startup destination for innovative entrepreneurs and funding to come to India. Startups, of course, depend on a lot of factors, but I think a key ingredient there is the support and the policy interventions, the ease of doing business that Government of India focuses on. And today, as all of you know, we're the third largest startup ecosystem after US and China, and the number of unicorns, $1 billion valuation startups, is almost going to reach 100 pretty soon. The focus of this award is to bring startups and enterprises together. Clearly, enterprises must create this capability within their organization so that they can tap into the entrepreneurial ecosystem that exists, the innovation ecosystem that exists outside the organization, and learn about innovations, learn about new business models, learn about speed of working, reduce the risk of innovation, and this becomes a new channel for strategic growth for the corporation. I strongly believe that this is something, a capability that all enterprises must develop, and the Startupreneur Award program is really a platform. CI's Corporate Startup Business Partnership Program is created for that, and the award itself from 2018 is a way for us to recognize these startups in a public function so that it inspires others also. These case studies become examples that others can learn from. Many startups are today working with enterprises, and I hope that this number will keep growing as we go forward. Chandrajit briefly touched upon the CI Center for Excellence for Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Startups, and the center's activities are scaling up. It has a robust plan. It has a plan for enterprises to help them work with startups, help them on their innovation journey, help them to identify, to incubate, to create an incubation program, to really make them enable them to work with startups, which I already mentioned is very important. We have, of course, a program for entrepreneurs and startups. Goes all the way from working with enterprises, incubating them, supporting them, giving them space in our center, and we hope to increase the number as we go along. We have a very interesting program for family offices and high net worth individuals, because we strongly believe that as an investment vehicle, the whole entrepreneurial ecosystem is something that family offices and high net worth individuals must look at. This is an asset class that they must have in the portfolio. And from an ecosystem perspective, we want more domestic capital to come in. The wealth creation has to stay in India. Right now, the wealth creation is floating outside the country. We want the wealth creation to happen. Of course, we want funds to come from outside, but we want also domestic investors, domestic, our public markets to benefit from the startups. So this program is actually very, very, very widely now received by the ecosystem as we speak. We have a 5-week program for family offices to handhold them, to take them through the investment cycle. We also have a program for incubators and accelerators to build capacity, to build capability, to create a metric system to help them manage their incubation process, manage their organization better, and things like that. CI has more than 9,100 members from public and private sector, and an indirect membership over 300,000 enterprises, and 65 offices across the country, offices around the world, etc. So we strongly believe that when it comes to connecting startups together with enterprises, CI is best placed. We are the the best industry platform that's available for both enterprises and startups, and the Center for Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Startups set up in Hyderabad as a national center will, I believe, help both the enterprises and startups to take this work forward. Last point I want to say is that this is something that we need to continue to work on. New technologies are coming in, new startups are being created, new business models are emerging. We need to work towards a $5 trillion, $10 trillion economy as a country. We have a long way to go, and startups will play an important role. Innovation will play an important role, and this whole process, I think, must continue. The Startupreneur Award is one more initiative from CII in this regard. Once again, thank you, Honorable Minister Sri Rajesh Chandrasekharji, for accepting our invitation and for spending time from your busy schedule to be with us. Your presence today will, I believe, motivate all the award winners and the large number of entrepreneurs who are looking forward to hearing from you. And again, congratulations to all the awardees and best wishes for your future success. Thank you, and over to you, Chandra.
You're on mute, please. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chris. Sorry. Honorable Minister, with your permission, we would now start the CII Startupreneur Award ceremony. Thank you. May we have the ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CII Startupreneur Award Ceremony. With the objective of promoting Corporate Startup Connect, Confederation of Indian Industry instituted the Startupreneur Awards in 2018. The awards are given to startups for excellence in cutting-edge technology, innovation, wealth creation, and employment generation. These awards are based on an innovative model of mutual benefit where corporates choose startups for awards based on their business interest. CII members are connected with promising startups in respective business areas through a robust selection process. The startups that are finally selected by corporate houses are conferred with the respective corporate awards. 7 leading corporates partnered with CII for this edition of the Startupreneur Awards. I would now like to invite Mr. Sashi Mukundan, President, BP India, to announce the winner of BP Award for Top Startup in Energy.
BP is keen on new ideas, agility, and delivery models that are typical of a startup. The talent in India's aspirational youth is evident in the volume and quality of startups emanating from here. Participating in the program has given us a chance to closely observe the solutions being worked. CII Startupreneur is an excellent platform to support and connect the startups with industries. We are very happy to announce that we have chosen RenCube as the winner of this award.
Hi, this is Balaji, CEO and founder of RenCube. RenCube is an innovative solar startup that promises to make solar energy more affordable. There is a saying which says it takes a village to raise a child, and we are glad to see that in India today we have a startup ecosystem similarly to nurture the startups. In particular today, thanks to CII for enabling a wonderful platform to showcase Indian innovations across all sectors on a global platform, and at the same time connecting the startups with the right corporates. We would also like to thank BP Exploration Alpha Limited for evaluating and reinforcing the faith in our idea. Lastly, we are absolutely delighted to be recognized by the prestigious Startupreneur Award 2021 from them. Thank you very much.
May I now invite Ms. Shruti Kannan, Head, Cisco Launchpad, to announce the winner of Cisco Award for Top Startup in Manufacturing.
We have helped startups with mentorship, technology, partnerships, and expansion on the go-to-market front. I'm happy to join hands with CII, and today I'm happy to announce the winner of CII Startupreneur Awards is Autosys Industrial Solutions Private Limited.
Hi everyone, this is Aditya Damani from Atosis Industrial Solutions Private Limited. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Cisco and CII Confederation of Indian Industry for giving us this opportunity and hosting this particular award that gives a lot of exposure to startup like us in the industry. Winning this award and association with Cisco is going to take us long ahead in our journey of Industry 4.0. I'm certain that this is going to accelerate our growth and is going to fundamentally help us with a lot of learnings. Thank you, CII. Thank you, Cisco.
Next, we have Mr. Manjunath Kukuru, Associate Vice President, Infosys, to announce the winner of Infosys Award for Top Startup in Creative and Services.
Infosys has always encouraged engagement with startups so that we can drive innovation for our clients through these brilliant, innovative, creative startups. We are very happy to be associated with CII in general and in this program of Startupreneur 2020. And we would like to congratulate the winner Big Things for this cohort. We believe companies like Big Things and others would be fairly successful in the world of digital transformation and the metaverse phenomena that we are seeing all around. Congratulations to Big Things and to all the other winners.
Hi, I'm Shivang Desai, co-founder and CEO of Big Things. Along with my co-founder Chandralika Hazarika, I would like to thank CII for this award, which recognizes our disruptive work in digitizing the fashion retail industry with mobile 3D body scanning, digital avatars, virtual try-ons, and virtual showrooms. This same disruptive technology is being now rolled out to the metaverse, gaming, wellness, fitness, and several other applications. It is our customers that believe in us, and we would like to thank them for being our champions, as well as each and every person in Big Things for making the magic happen. Thank you to CII. This award means a lot and will help provide validation and credibility to our work going forward. Thank you from Team Big Things again.
I have great pleasure in inviting Dr. Raghupati Singhania, CMD, JK Tyre and Industries Limited, to announce the winner of JK Tyre Award for Top Startup in Manufacturing.
India is currently the world's fastest growing startup ecosystem. It has emerged as the third largest ecosystem for startups globally. Few of the startups have been the biggest disruptors in the industry and have taken entrepreneurship to another level. We are proud to partner with CII. We are declaring the winner of JK Tyre Award for Top Startup of the Year up to our reality.
Hi everyone, this is Puneet. I'm the founder of Fabric. I hope you're all safe and well. I want to take this opportunity to firstly thank CII for giving us the chance to participate in the contest, and secondly thank JK Tyre for recognizing Fabric as a Startup of the Year through the Startupreneur of the Year award. This award is especially close to our hearts, primarily because it gave us an opportunity to work closely with JK Tyre and some of the real world problems that they're facing today. We were able to understand some of the challenges that the industry faces and figure out ways in which metaverse and its applications can impact the business case and give ROI or improve performance, as the case may be. We continue to work with JK Tyre, and I'd like to thank CII once again for this opportunity, and JK Tyre as well for being gracious and allowing us to work closely with their teams. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.
I would now like to invite Dr. Debashish Bhattacharjee, VP, Technology and New Materials Business, Tata Steel, to announce the winner of Tata Steel Award for Top Startup in Infrastructure.
The CII Startupreneur Award is a unique platform that provides the much required connect between corporates and startups. Tata Steel, like many other corporates, has a structured vertical that interacts with startups. It is my pleasure today to announce Iconn Developers LLP as the winner.
Hello everyone, I feel immense pleasure to be selected as a winner of CII Startupreneur Award 2020. This is really a proud moment for me and my entire team. We are grateful to the juries for contemplating us for this award. I am very much thankful to the team of Tata Steel and CII for providing us such a wonderful opportunity.
May I now invite Mr. Ashish Avasthi, Group General Manager, Technical and Coordination, Triveni Engineering and Industries Limited, to announce the winner of Triveni Award for Top Startup in Energy.
We are happy to partner with CII for the Startupreneur Award 2020. I am happy to announce Amol Carbons as the winner.
Amol Carbons has developed agricultural waste to fuel technology with funding from Startup Cell of Indian Oil Corporation. We are very thankful that CII and Triveni have selected us for this startup award. CII being an All India organization, this will provide All India name recognition for Amol Carbons. The fuel that we have developed is called D100, which is not as well known as could be, because it can replace both diesel and LPG in whatever proportion that is desired. Production of this green renewable fuel will become a commercial success with the help of CII and Triveni. Thank you.
I would now like to invite Mr. Parminder Kakria, Head Government Affairs, Wipro Limited, to announce the winner of Wipro Award for Top Startup in Aerospace and Defense.
I must also thank CII for this initiative, and we are proud to contribute our bit in honoring the startups, and I'm confident that you will keep innovating and accomplishing many more milestones in the future. Congratulate Astrom team for winning Wipro Award for Top Startup for the Year.
Hello, I'm Sanjana Harlalka, Director of Marketing at Astrom Technologies. I would like to thank you all on behalf of Astrom family for presenting us with the CII Startupreneur Award. We are extremely honored to have been selected for the prestigious Wipro Award for Top Startup of the Year. This award will strengthen our position as a leading telecom startup in the country and give us an opportunity to showcase the products at various platforms. We would sincerely like to thank the team at CII and Wipro for giving startups like us such a great opportunity for presenting their cutting-edge technology and innovation.
Congratulations to all awardees and our special thanks to corporate partners. Before we conclude the Startupreneur Awards ceremony today, I would also like to acknowledge the winners of Startupreneur Award 2019-2020.
Congratulations to all the winners, and thanks to all the corporates for their support and participation in this edition of the award. So we have all the awardees and the corporate partners together listening to this. They are all participating through this video conference here today. And we are also very much sure that your presence and at this very important occasion is going to be a true motivation for many of our startup colleagues. And to further strengthen this initiative for connecting startups with corporates, we have launched a dedicated platform and we have called it Iconn. Iconn, which is a short form of Industry Connect. And we started it last year, and in a short span of just 3 months, the platform has seen a phenomenal traction. And we have over today 3,000 registrations consisting of startups, corporates, incubators, accelerators, even academia, VC, and angel investors, and all of that in this platform. And we have been working very closely with the government, with the central ministries, and also with the state governments, including Startup India, for this project platform Iconn. And today we are happy that you have kindly agreed to launch the second edition of Iconn, Honorable Minister. With your permission, I'd like to play a short video in your presence to present the Iconn 2020. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Startup India initiative launched by the Honorable Prime Minister on 16th January 2016 aims to build a strong ecosystem for nurturing innovation and startups in the country. Today, startups have emerged as the engine for India's economic growth. The Confederation of Indian Industry, CII, is committed to promote the Indian startup ecosystem through its network of offices across states and regions, international linkages, and membership connects. CII works with the central and state governments towards enabling a conducive policy environment for promotion of startups. Mentorship plays a crucial role in the evolution of a successful startup. To provide this much-needed support for Indian startups, CII launched mentorship program for startups with experienced entrepreneurs, executives, and functional experts from CII membership as mentors. In 2020, CII established the Center of Excellence for Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Startups. CII CIES offers specialized services to family offices, corporates, and startups. CII works to build capacity within the startup ecosystem by organizing masterclasses and cohorts to promote innovation, entrepreneurship, and startups. CII Family Office cohorts assist family offices in identifying and investing in Indian startups. CII Corporate Startup Accelerator Program helps corporates to launch their Startup Connect strategies. To connect globally and forge new partnerships, CII links Indian startups to startup ecosystem players in different countries. CII Startupreneur Awards recognize promising startups with cutting-edge technology, innovation, wealth creation, and employment generation through a robust selection process. In October 2021, CII launched Iconn, a unique platform for corporates and startups to engage and create linkages of key players in the Indian startup ecosystem. Iconn 2021 generated huge response and helped participating startups in getting access to corporates, while corporates too reached out to startups with problem statements. It also saw the launch of corporate startup acceleration programs and release of reports and publications based on discussions on critical issues impacting the Indian startup ecosystem. CII now announces the launch of Iconn 2022, the Corporate Startup Connect Framework. Iconn 2022 will feature sectoral interactions between corporates and startups, bilateral discussions with startup ecosystem players in different countries, state-specific sessions, thematic discussions on relevant topics, capacity-building programs for startups, and B2B networking among startups and corporates. Join us, stay connected, explore innovations, and engage in entrepreneurship at Iconn 2022. Let's build the India of startups together.
Thank you. We are indeed extremely happy to share that METI Startup Hub has agreed to partner with Iconn. Thank you very much. And METI, we will work with METI together in connecting our corporates with startups and place at the METI Startup Hub in the very near future. And I'd like to actually also acknowledge and thank the support received from Mr. Bhuvnesh Kumar, Joint Secretary METI, and Mr. Jeet Vijay, CEO METI Startup. They are all here, joined us today. Thank you very much, Mr. Kumar and Mr. Jeet. Honorable Minister, we witnessed many positive outcomes from Iconn, including the launch of the Corporate Accelerator program by you. And also under Iconn, we had a very in-depth discussions on some critical subjects that we wanted to place before you. We had certain dialogues, and the outcomes of those dialogues very quickly to be presented to you would be one on fueling startup growth, the tax and the regulatory policy. And Rajiv Memani chaired this initiative. Rajiv, if you could just very quickly in a couple of minutes summarize it to the Honorable Minister, please. Rajiv. Yeah.
India is indeed at a pivotal point where startups are playing a much greater role in making India globally competitive and a hub for innovation. The budget proposals augur well for the startup ecosystem, setting up an expert committee to holistically examine regulatory issues related to venture capital and private equity investments would particularly help the ecosystem players to resolve some long pending issues. To further accelerate this momentum and simplify the tax and regulatory regime, CII's white paper on taxation and regulatory reforms for promotion of startups and international best practices suggests suitable reforms to create a supportive, friendly, and a favorable environment for the startups community. The report outlines suggestions for rationalization of the existing regime and regulations that can further facilitate investments and foster innovation. The report also highlights best practices from around the globe that can be adopted in India. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate and thank CII for the Iconn initiative that aims to catalyze strategic interactions with startup stakeholders. The collaborative effort will be valuable for creating an integrated, inclusive, and vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll now move on to Avnish Sabharwal, who has led and chaired the discussions on and come out with this report, Unleashing the Power of Deep Tech in India. Yeah. Avnish.
India has long branded itself as the world's leading outsourcing destination for global companies, particularly for those in the technology sector. But in the fourth industrial revolution, the time is ripe to reinvent itself from being the pioneer of jugaad and frugal innovation to building world-class products, leveraging deep tech and deep sciences. The ongoing technology revolution has given rise to a set of exponential technologies like AI, quantum computing, AR, VR, cybersecurity, nanotechnology, blockchain, robotics, and 3D printing that have been begun to loosely defined as deep tech and are expected to be at the heart of the next wave of information disruption. India has the conditions, talent, and resources necessary to take a leading position on the global deep tech stage, but it needs to overcome several roadblocks in order to realize its potential. With government support, assurance of foreign and domestic investments, collaboration with academia, and tight integration with corporates in solving commercial problems, India can well emerge as the global deep tech hub in the next 5 years. The objective of writing this report was therefore to demystify the term deep tech and provide an overview of various technologies and the enabling ecosystem in India, highlight the gains that startups, corporates, government, and academia stand to make by greater collaboration in this space, identify and highlight the key challenges and roadblocks that will need to be overcome, and finally share a set of actionable recommendations which each of the stakeholders can take to unlock the value of deep tech. I would like to thank our partner IIT Madras and all the ecosystem partners from various corporate startups, VCs, and academia who gave their valuable insights in making this report. I would also like to thank the CII team to have given the opportunity to Accenture Ventures to be the knowledge partner for this initiative. Thank you and happy reading.
Thank you. Thank you. And the third and the last report is really on Indian corporate venturing, which focuses on corporates' viewpoints on how to approach corporate investment in startups. And we have Deepak Padaki, who from Infosys, who actually chaired this initiative for the report. Deepak.
Hello, I'm Deepak Padaki, Executive Vice President at Infosys. We're really excited to launch this report on corporate venturing in India here at Iconn. India is home to the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, an ecosystem that is growing and expected to grow to over 100,000 startups and over $150 billion in funding by 2025. And this growth in itself represents an enormous opportunity for value creation in India. The report delves into how traditional Indian enterprises can participate in this opportunity through venture funding, which of course today is fueled by VC firms. Domestic corporates in India lag behind their global counterparts when it comes to venture funding. The report gets inputs from a wide range of industry practitioners, VC funds, startup leaders and influencers, and it touches upon the barriers to corporate venturing here in India and makes recommendations about how to structure funds, manage the risk, and of course considerations for government and regulatory policy change. There is an immense opportunity for corporates in India to drive the startup ecosystem's growth while capturing its financial and innovation value. The report was a joint study conducted by CII, Infosys, Accenture, IBCA, Traction, and Mawsonia, and I want to thank all the experts who provided the inputs that went into it. I hope this report will be a good starting point for those looking to initiate or evolve their corporate venturing programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you. All these reports are available on the Iconn platform, which we had showcased. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure and honor to invite our chief guest, the Honorable Minister, Shri Rajiv Chandrasekhar ji, to give the keynote address, please. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chandrajit, Director General, CII, my friend, Chris Gopalakrishnan, the Chairman of the CII Startupreneur Award 2020. The winners of these awards, let me just name them: Mr. Balaji Lakshmikant, Mr. Aditya Damani, Mr. Shivang Desai, Mr. Puneet Badrinath, Mr. Yash Patel, and the youngest of them all, Dr. Anand Apte, Dr. Neha Satak. All of you, congratulations. And I think at least it proves, and I have seen this happen again and again, that the startup concept is not limited to, let's say, 25-year-olds or 27-year-olds. And Dr. Anand Apte, thank you for proving that and smashing that conventional narrative that an entrepreneur can be an entrepreneur and a startup can be a startup anytime in their lives. So look, thank you for having me this morning on this program. There is really no need to thank me for being here. I consider it an honor, privilege, and my duty to be in every gathering that celebrates startup success. It gives me, I can assure you, me and my colleagues in government, a tremendous amount of energy and enthusiasm and motivation to see efforts like this and to hear about stories of grit, determination, and success that are being played out all across the country. And it is a tremendously energizing process even for us. So it is a privilege to be here, and I can assure you that anytime you invite us, we would be more than happy to be part of a celebration such as this. Apart from the fact that you are celebrating startups and the energy of startups, I think the other reason I am pleased to be here today, and I'm pleased to see a program such as this, is the fact that conventionally the industry organizations like CII and FICCI that have stood for and represented big companies in India are now also speaking for and about really the future of India, which is the small, young startups, new startups and entrepreneurs and the entrepreneurial energy that exists outside the conventional industry economy ecosystem. And I say this, and this is a very important point that I want to make, because India has, for the last 7 years, the Indian economy has been undergoing a serial structural change for several decades, and for the most part of the last 75 years as an independent nation. The Indian economy has been centered around a few groups and a few families, or whichever way you want to describe them. And in a sense, we have, as we celebrate 75 years of independence and look back at how far we have come or how far we have traveled and look forward to the next 25 years, it is important to understand that we are moving and changing from that economic model which depended on a few economic participants. And those economic participants, in a sense, monopolizing or dominating the financial sector and the capital that was available in this country, and capital formation as a consequence, to a model today that is really being fueled by thousands and lakhs of young entrepreneurs, new startups, new enterprises. And we are in the midst of that change. We are in the midst of that really deep structural transformation of the Indian economy. So I think celebrations like this are important. And the fact that organizations like CII and other organizations that where conventional wisdom had it, that you spoke for the big guys, and that now you are speaking for not just the big guys, you're speaking for the innovators and the young and the new and the most recent participants in the Indian economy, is, in my opinion, is for me personally, as somebody who's been through the Indian entrepreneurial mill and been having dealt with this. I think this is an important milestone, and I congratulate you for it, and I hope that you will spearhead that change and transformation even further. There is another important aspect of this for me personally and for government in general, about the fact that corporates are now understanding the need to be looking at the startup ecosystem as participants, and rather than the conventional wisdom of having a strategic alliance or being rather mute spectators. And I would strongly suggest that the first wave of startups in India, the large corporates in India were really playing the role of spectator to the first round of innovation and first round of, while family offices and private investments did play a role. The surprising thing in my mind was that the large corporates really let that opportunity fly by them, and that instead of them being participants, them being actively involved in the investing process of that first wave of startups, it was really left to many investment firms and private equity and venture capital firms to drive that. And I'm not saying that is a wrong or a right, but I just see that as a missed opportunity for some. And I'm glad that this program and this effort by CII is doing what I thought was missing all this while, which is bringing corporates and startups on the same table and making corporates active participants in the growth and expansion of the startup ecosystem. And I think that is extremely important, both from a point of view of where the future intellectual property of these startups lie, and how they are domiciled in India, if you want to call it that, and the fact that there is equity and capital formation that happens as a consequence of the success of these startups that is also contributing to domestic equity formation. So I think on all of those grounds, I'm excited to be here, and I'm grateful that you've invited me. I don't want to say, I don't want to make any conventional big speech to you. I will just lay out a few points that I think may be interesting for the audience, including those who are startups to hear from me as a representative of the government. I can assure you that the Prime Minister's vision is very deep, is very, very, very well thought through, in that he believes the Indian economy for the next 25 years, the energy, the dynamism, the innovation, the growth, the expansion, the creation of opportunities, investments and jobs will be largely driven by the startup and the entrepreneurial ecosystem of this country. And that is point number one that I want to make. Point number two is I think I missed saying this in the early part of my talk, is the other reason I am very fascinated by today, Chris, your work, and CII, your work, is the fact that you have extended the startup ecosystem to go beyond tech. And I think that is an extremely important issue. And I saw references to manufacturing. There is so much innovation that is outside of tech that is going on in the new gen manufacturing, whether you call it 3D printing or additive manufacturing. So I'm glad that the phrase startup ecosystem is becoming less restrictive and is moving beyond tech and deep tech, and moving into other areas of where innovation and entrepreneurship must be on full show and full energy. So that is the second point that I wanted to make. The third is that as far as the government is concerned, and the Prime Minister has said this repeatedly, and we are executing that, and we'll execute this, that it is a mission for us to make sure that the startup ecosystem is enabled fully, and that we grow and expand this in partnership with the private sector. And I can speak to the two ministries that I have the privilege of working in, which is METI and in skill development. In both those ministries, we have reorganized ourselves to make startups a tremendously focused mission. In METI, for example, we have rejigged STPI's mission to be startup focused, as well as the startup hub. So my colleague Bhuvnesh, who's the joint secretary in METI, now looks at the entire universe and uses two instrumentalities, both the STPI and the startup hub, to drive partnerships, to drive enablement in the startup ecosystem. So I just want to leave that for you to be aware of. The third point that I just want to make to you is that there has been a lot of conversation around capital, and the fact that there is still a large dependence on foreign capital or foreign private equity firms. And I had occasion in the digital economy advisory group of the ministry, of which Chris is a member, to talk about the idea of information technology or a technology fund, which will be sponsored by the government but managed by the private sector. And I'm glad to announce to you today, and I think if some of you have picked it up from the budget, that the finance minister has announced that there will be such a fund where the government will be a 20% limited partner or general partner, and it will be managed by a private fund manager. So there will be a fund that will be created, sponsored by the government, of course, but it will be managed absolutely like any other private fund. So that will create the required private capital, private equity capital as an additionality to what exists. Plus, I think the CII effort today, the Startup Entrepreneur effort of bringing more and more corporates around the table and to participate in investing. I won't take too much more of your time. I'll say this for sure, that I think we are living in very exciting times. For those of you who know me as also having sort of, in a sense, traveled the same path of being an entrepreneur, albeit in slightly different circumstances in a different sector called telecom, where we had a proliferation of the Sukrams and the Rajas and other minefields like that. But I think the world today is a very different world. It's a great time to be an entrepreneur. It's a great time to be a startup. And it is an absolute almost mission, an article of faith for our Prime Minister and our government, and therefore for all of us, that the expansion of the startup ecosystem, funding it, fueling it, creating innovations in the startup ecosystem, and directing the startup ecosystem's growth in the opportunities that are out there in the post-COVID world, in deep tech, in other areas of tech, in other areas of innovation, in a manner where intellectual property is created here, and that we can effectively play the role of leading the world, if not from the front as the leader, but at least being amongst the leader pack in terms of defining technologies of the future, or as a corollary, defining the technology landscape of the future. It has always been for several years that India followed the world in terms of following technology. And I think here we have today a tremendous opportunity. And I use the word technology very fungibly to mean technology and innovation across a broad spectrum of applications, including manufacturing. That we have the ability today, we have the energy, and we have a government that is absolutely committed to realizing these dreams and these promises into reality. So I will end there and say we are committed to working with efforts like this. We are committed to moving beyond just headlining ambition and vision to doing the hard work that is required, doing the heavy lifting that is required in partnership with the private sector and organizations such as yourself to make our journey for the next 5 to 10 years a true success in the space of innovation and entrepreneurship. Thank you for having me today. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for those very encouraging words and for those very important inputs and your thoughts. We will obviously have a lot more deliberation internally to see how we can take forward the points that you advised us. And thank you once again for your time. I'll request Chris to please wrap up this meeting with a vote of thanks to the Honorable Minister.
Sri Rajiv Chandrasekharji, even though you said you are very happy to participate, it's always our privilege to have you amongst us. As you rightly said, broadening the base of the economy to include new generation businesses, new enterprises, very much needed. And I hope people made a note of this. Rajiv ji was part of that movement. Now, of course, he's on the other side sitting with the government.
The same side, Chris.
So same side, I agree. We have to work together to make it happen. But it is an important phenomena that needs to happen. The IT industry also did that, broadened that in the 80s and the 90s, and the telecom companies. We need to create a new generation and enterprises, and CI is very much committed to making this happen. We represent the whole of industry, and these are transformations that happen in every organization. So thank you, sir, for participating in this. Really appreciate. I want to thank all the corporate sponsors and corporate members who participated in this Startupreneur process, were part of the jury, sat through many presentations, gave valuable feedback, and of course are giving these awards today. I want to thank all the startups who participated. I hope next year some of you will win this award, be part of this journey. I hope you got good feedback. And all the participants today, we need to leverage these platforms in bigger and better ways. We need corporates to come forward to work with startups and entrepreneurs for mutual benefit. As rightly mentioned several times, I think corporates can benefit in multiple ways by working with startups, etc. It's a new channel for bringing in innovations into the organization. So thank you all very much, and enjoy the rest of the day and the weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.